Hollywood Boulevard just got a little scarier, and a whole lot more iconic. The man behind one of horror's most unforgettable faces, Robert Englund, is officially part of Hollywood history. The Nightmare on Elm Street legend, forever immortalized as Freddy Krueger, was honored with his very own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. "It's surreal," Robert shared moments after the unveiling, his voice equal parts gratitude and disbelief. "I never thought about awards and stuff. I was just grateful to be a working actor throughout the 70s, but I've spent so much time on this old street, both in the ups and the downs of Hollywood. I love this town. I've lived all over here up in the foothills off Franklin by the old Frank Lloyd Wright Jr. Batcave. I'm steeped in Hollywood lore. From the dreamscapes of Springwood to the starry sidewalks of Tinseltown, Englund's journey is a masterclass in longevity, talent, and transformation. He redefined what a movie villain could be, slashing through the Hollywood mold with a glove full of blades and a twisted grin that became pop culture legend. He slashed the Hollywood idea of what a villain is and what he could be. One fan shouted from the crowd. "This is just a dream," Robert said with a laugh, quoting one of Freddy's most famous lines. "He isn't real, he isn't real." For millions, though, Freddy Krueger is very real, the stuff of nightmares, sleepovers, and horror history. And Robert, now 77, couldn't be prouder of the legacy. "I think it's this great thing," he said, gesturing to his newly minted star. "This collection of American popular culture. I'm just honored to be a part of it." As cameras flashed and fans chanted "Freddy, Freddy," in unison, Englund grinned, soaking it all in. "I think the Dodgers need that chant," he joked, never losing his playful edge. When asked whether he'd ever don the infamous fedora and glove again, Robert was candid. "I don't think so," he admitted. "Maybe they'll do an animated Freddy. You know, a kind of dark, stylized graphic novel, maybe an animated series. That would be fun to voice while I'm still around." It's the kind of answer that both teases and tantalizes fans who have followed the nightmare for nearly 4 decades. And while Englund has long since hung up the striped sweater, his influence over horror storytelling remains as sharp as Freddy's claws. Of course, no talk of Freddy Krueger would be complete without the question, who could possibly take up the mantle next? Director Chuck Russell once suggested that the only person who might pull it off is Jim Carrey. Robert's reaction, classic Englund. "I love Jim Carrey, I think he can do no wrong," he said. "But I was at a con, maybe down in San Diego a couple years ago, and at the Q&A a fan said he'd heard a rumor about Kevin Bacon, one of my favorite actors." That rumor sparked a gleam in Englund's eye. "Kevin's a little taller than me, but he has respect for the horror genre. I thought that was a really good idea. I don't know if it was real or just a rumor, but I think he'd be interesting because he's so graceful. He'd bring a certain stylized movement, a grace, that I think Freddy needs." It's a sentiment that shows just how much thought Englund still gives to the legacy of his most infamous character. Freddy Krueger isn't just a villain to him. He's a fully realized piece of performance art. Every gesture, every motion, every slash was part of a calculated design to scare and mesmerize audiences in equal measure. That precision, that creativity, is what has made Robert Englund's Freddy stand apart for generations. From 1984's original A Nightmare on Elm Street through its many sequels and spin-offs, Englund managed to create something rare, a villain audiences love to fear. His Freddy wasn't just a monster, he was magnetic. For fans in attendance, seeing Englund finally receive a permanent place on the Walk of Fame felt like poetic justice. Over the decades, he's gone from character actor to horror royalty, a man who turned a small-budget slasher into a cultural phenomenon. As he posed for photos, Robert's humor and humility were on full display. "I was just grateful to be a working actor," he repeated. "That's all I ever wanted, and to be remembered like this, it's more than I could have dreamed of." He paused, smiling, his hands resting gently over the star that now bears his name. I guess I've finally got my piece of Hollywood, and I didn't even have to kill anyone for it. Cue the laughter and maybe just a little shiver. Because for horror fans everywhere, Robert Englund isn't just Freddy Krueger. He's the embodiment of how performance can elevate even the darkest nightmares into timeless art. His Walk of Fame star is more than a tribute. It's a reminder that some icons never fade. As he waved to the cheering crowd, Englund signed off the only way Freddy could. "Welcome to my nightmare.